Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Afton and I'm Monty's Tarot Child. Today I have a very exciting to me pick a card for you all. I chose 4 piles for you to concentrate on and to look into a very specific connection in your life that you are looking to heal. This is going to be a very healing message, and I'm starting off with a deck that is new to me, the Heal the Argument deck. So it may not be an argument that you are in. It may simply just be a disagreement or a miscommunication. But there is something between you and another soul, another being that may need healing. And this is the message for you to look into how to begin that healing. As I said, I have 4 piles for you here to take a moment to pause and meditate on which message is going to be the most aligned for you. And I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. You chose the beautiful pyrite or fool's gold crystal. And I'm going to actually just put it right off to the side and get right into your reading. So as I mentioned in the introduction, this is a deck that is new to me. It is the Heal the Argument deck. And as I mentioned also, even if you don't feel as if you are in an argument per se, this is an opportunity for you to heal a connection that you know or may feel some misalignment. So this reading is for your healing, and you are healing alone because you have decided to tune in. Of course, there is always choice. So you are choosing to heal. Whether the other person is ready for that healing or ready for this opportunity is not up for either one of us to say. So as I am mentioning this, I just want to make sure that I am making it very clear that I'm here to help you heal. And I'm not necessarily here for, or this message is not meant to instigate or to start a healing in another person. This is just for your own. Healing is autonomous. We all have the choice and opportunity to choose healing. And so as you are choosing and making this choice to watch this reading, hopefully another will do the same, but of course of free will. So I'm glad that we got that out of the way. And to get started, you have, this is the person you care so deeply about, the person that knows you the most. Speak carefully and with love. Okay. So this is off the bat, it's saying that this is someone whoever this person is that you have concentrated your energy on, and you are looking to introduce more healing into the situation. This is someone who cares deeply for you, so deeply, and they know you very, very well. It could be family. Again, everyone's situation will be different. I do want to start by saying that family looks differently to everyone as well. But this is someone you are especially close to. And Spirit is calling you. They are asking you to speak carefully and with love in the situation. So I'm going to actually ask Spirit to show me more about this situation and who it is or what it is that you are going through right now. And hopefully the cards don't go with flying. Okay, here we are. So at the bottom of the deck, show me when love will arrive. Okay, even though the card that we have right here is signifying that there is love, there's already love here, and this is someone that cares for you very deeply. You could be, coming to this reading trying to see, is this the love that I thought I was seeking? Is this what, I thought I was in pursuit of? We also have show me what to reject. And I think Spirit is saying to, and is calling you to reject those kind of thoughts and feelings on whether this is the love. Is this, and of course I'm speaking to you directly, but I would like for you to use your discernment in knowing what I mean. Of course, we don't want you to stay in a situation that is masked as love, as masked as understanding and caring and things like that. And behind it all is abuse and things of that nature. So I want to be very clear that if you know that it is love, if you know that triggers from the past have kept you viewing this love differently, as if like your perspective has shifted or has been shifted or changed. It has changed because of other love. Because of other love that you thought was love, quite possibly, and then it turned out to not be love. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's love is different. Everyone's love story is different, of course. So what Spirit is calling me to tell you is that the person that you are so intently thinking about during this reading, they care about you deeply. And Spirit wants you to reject the negativity that you may feel, the doubt that you may feel is actually encompassing this love. I'm going to look even more deeply because, again, I want to be careful in viewing the energy of this relationship. So I'm going to look carefully into this connection. It does not feel romantic to me. It does not feel romantic. We have the card of melancholy popping out for you. And this is my first time using this deck. Literally, it was delivered to me today. So I'm going to actually read the short passage about this one from the book, okay? So you have melancholy. At the bottom of the deck is greed. I might actually read that one too. Give me 1 second. Okay, so for the card of melancholy, acknowledge your feelings and be gentle with yourself. Difficult, heartfelt events can come from any direction and at any time. Pile number 1. Eventually, the intensity of sadness will fade away. Allow yourself to be human while expressing what the soul feels. Remaining in a state of melancholy leads to grief. Prolonged grief is a form of self-absorption, and it takes far more effort to climb out of grief than melancholy. Okay, so right now, I feel as if you may actually be in an okay situation currently, but as I was mentioning before, like the past, the previous energies of love and very heavy, very heartfelt emotions that are hard to kind of shake off is what this feeling is like, is affecting your current present day relationship. Again, not necessarily romantic. This could be a past friendship that kind of did you dirty and now you don't really trust your friends with a whole bunch of secrets, but that also keeps you closed off from true friendship, from genuine friendship. It could also be, yes, relationships where you had very difficult, love relationships in the past, and you have had to, you haven't closed yourself off from love necessarily, but you have been in situations that have not been fulfilling, have not been completely, you haven't shown up as your complete and authentic self, just because of, again, past trauma, past hurt. But what this melancholy and Spirit is trying to tell you, the melancholy will then turn into grief. And Spirit does not want you to be in this grief-stricken place if it is not necessary. They want you to be able to heal these relationship wounds so that you are able to create new relationships with healthier boundaries, with more optimism and trust, with more communication and openness as well. So this is possibly what your current silence, of course. This is probably what the current situation that you are in right now is asking of you. It's just more depth, and you don't feel as if you have it to give. You don't feel as if you've reached that just yet. We also have silence within the Naked Truth Oracle, and we have this looks like a facade. Lethal halt is here with the stoplight. Extinguisher, we have control and restrict. And the potion, we have resolve. Okay, so this definitely feels like your energy that you have around this person or connection. It's like I don't know what to say, or I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm not going to say anything. Or I'm not looking to go deeply here because I'm afraid of what deeply means, so I'm going to halt or control my communication. That was literally what I was talking about when this one flew out. It's just like you hold on to your communication in these melancholic states. And Spirit is wanting me to reassure you that this is something that feels like you are already aware of, and something that you are seeking to reject. You're seeking to reject these emotional or more subconscious reactions to other people based off of your past. You're done with that. You're done with that. You want to see people for who they are and what they truly bring to you, and what they want to bring to you, who they want to be around you. And even though I didn't read the bottom of the deck, and the bottom of the deck is bounty for this one. The greed here feels like maybe you were dealing with someone who in the past was a bit, more greedy, more, they needed more from you. And then you gave more of yourself than you ever thought you could at that time. And then of course left in this melancholy state. You're now looking to reject those feelings of it wasn't enough. I wasn't enough. So I won't be enough here where I am. So I must hold myself, back. But Spirit is trying to tell me to tell you that you are enough, that you have enough for this current situation, the one that we're actually checking in on. You have more than enough for this person to care so deeply about you. They do it naturally. Their care for you comes naturally, and it's almost as if you don't trust it. We have burden here, okay? Tower, sturdy support. Well, you have support all around you. Each of these symbolisms, the skeleton that is shown within her body and the beam, you have support all around you. Even the potion is support. Seek, structure, center, okay? So again, this connection that you have that's already with you, so much support. You have a very supportive person around you. They love you deeply, and they see this burden that you are carrying. They see it, which is why they try to talk to you about it. Maybe you feel a bit more like just a little uncomfortable talking about it so much sometimes, because you feel like, is this person really so supportive? But you have a bounty of support around you, especially in this connection. So much. We have reap and harvest. We have full wallet, abundance, payout, wealth. Reward is the potion with all of your effort that you have been putting in. And Spirit does want to, bring you that message as well. It's like the connections that you heal, the wounds that you heal from the past help open you up to your abundance, to your full wallet, to your bounty. This is something that is heavily connected together. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm trying to shuffle. These are things that are heavily connected together, is your abundance and the wounds of the past. Feeling, again, I just keep feeling like not enough. What to reject? Feelings of not being enough. Okay, feelings of lack that feed into your fears and your sadness and your grief. And this person who cares so deeply about you, they can possibly even notice certain habits that you have. Various certain habits. Maybe you try to keep it silent. Maybe you try to keep it to yourself. You're like, oh, they didn't notice that. Oh, they did. They did. They're very attentive to you because they care so much about you. Pile number 1. They want to see you heal. They want to help you heal also, quite possibly. They want to help you release this burden. They want to help you open up, feel comfortable to communicate. This message is coming to you as a confirmation that it is safe to do so. You can communicate with them, pile number 1. There is nothing that you will lose from being open, but you lose so much of the opportunity to connect with others, to embrace others, just from being closed off, from holding your voice, from being silent as well. Some of you may you do have issues with control, or have had in the past issues with control, because you again have taken on the burden. You know the taste of perfectionism. You strive for it because you couldn't find it in other places, so you strive for it in everything else. Spirit wants you to reject that as well. That was a very specific message for someone. But to get into the tarot, you have, wow, the Ten of Swords. We have Gemini here. And like I said, brand new deck for me, and it's already hitting. Well, the B Tarot and the B Oracle here. But we have Ruin here in the Ten of Swords, which is often viewed as that. And Spirit wants you to know that you are not ruined. Previous experiences in the past have come to teach you, have come to move you out of stubbornness, out of cycles, even as well. This is something, that may have been very painful for you to hold in the past, but it has brought you a lot of information about yourself, how much you tolerate, what you inevitably reject for your highest good. It teaches you about your strength and moving you out of this melancholy state, out of this shadowy state of despair and again, just a mistrust of people because of a very specific connection that has happened in the past, is what it feels like. Because this person that you have focused on current day does not feel like the energy of the past. They, the person who is with you now, around you now, cares deeply for you now. They are here to uplift you. They are here to show you more about yourself as well. We also have the Princess or Page of Cups. Absolutely beautiful, because we were just talking about them here to teach you more about yourself and what to reject. If it inevitably doesn't show you more about yourself, if it doesn't teach you something about life and existence and who you are in this process, in this world, it's not necessarily something to continue to carry with you any longer. There's something here that you're still carrying. It is a burden, and you're learning, you're absorbing so much to know more about what it is to feel light, to no longer feel the weight of something, to feel like you are carrying something. The greed, again, at the bottom of the deck continues to stand out to me. Someone could have definitely fed you the idea of you being greedy as well, because that word is so strong. I'm sure the book has a different word for it, or a different description for it, but that's what it feels like as well. So the Page of Cups is all about you learning you. You're doing it through a loving and deep connection. This person may give you space when you need it. They may be close to you when you need it. It's all about what you need in that time. They see you so clearly that they try to give you that. And even when you aren't speaking carefully, or maybe there's not as much love in your voice or in your words as you had hoped would be, as you had thought would be in your mind, they still hear your love. They still feel your love and feel how you care about them as well. They just want you to come alive again, is what it feels like. So definitely doing a lot of emotional work. We have the water element here and the melancholy as well, and the water element here with the Page of Cups. So definitely doing a lot of subconscious, a lot of shadow work. It could be just a lot of emotional, to help cleanse the emotions of the past. We also have, Ooh, the Four of Wands. Still getting used to this deck, but wow, perfected work. We also have Aries here and the symbol of Venus, of love. So this is definitely what is supporting you. Even if you are not in a romantic relationship where there's a partner here who is supporting you fully with love and care, this is the support of spirit as well. Even if you don't feel like there's a physical body, a lot of you, it feels like there is that one person that you have. But some people, this is a very spiritual as well with the Four of Wands here. Perfected work. You are doing the work. You're doing the work to release, to reject, to let go. Maybe it's some things that you weren't necessarily the most aware of in the past, but you are finding language for it now. And when you find the language, you go and you seek to clear, you seek to release, and it becomes more whole, more perfect for you, more of a reality. When you get to see yourself outside of this ruined state of feeling ruined from the past, of feeling damaged, tarnished, like your love is tarnished, like you cannot be gentle or soft with another because someone has completely stripped you away of that. 11:11 here as I'm recording. Let's see what else we have in the tarot. We have, wow, the Ace of Cups. Wow. Root of the powers of water is what it says underneath here. Root of the power of water. So you could definitely be a water sign that is Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. It's heavy water in this reading here. Also the air sign and the Aries, Gemini and Aries here as well. Wow, Ace of Cups. It's like, it's so poetic. The love that is coming into your life. Even if you, again, you are single or not looking for love, not looking for a relationship, this is emotional fulfillment in general. So if the connection that hurts you deeply, again, was family in the past, because sometimes the born family that we're in is not the actual family that we relate to. So it again will show up differently for everyone. If you feel as if you're missing something, if you are not whole or complete, this person is here to remind you you are. This person or these people is here to remind you of how important you are, of how loved you are. And sometimes that helps us to face our grief as well. Sometimes, again, we leave situations feeling ruined and unlovable, unworthy of love, incapable of loving again so deeply or so strongly or so whatever. So what this Ace of Cups is saying is like, this is more than you have ever experienced. This is a new beginning. This is a new situation. This is new love. This is new happiness. This is an abundance of joy. This is perfected work manifested emotionally. Wow. This is powerful. Pile number one, you have a beautiful spirit. It is sensitive at this moment, very sensitive, very, very sensitive, and only receptive of good, only receptive of positive, only receptive of what you have been yearning for in the past. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I think in this you will be able to build your strength emotionally, to know who you are emotionally, to know how you show up in other relationships because of this person as well. There's a lot that you are sharing with another, a lot of healing that is taking place. We also have the King of Wands. Wow. So of course Leo energy here as well is with the Lion, the King of Wands. Absolutely gorgeous. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Princess of Wands. Wow. So gorgeous. One of my new favorite decks. So with the King of Wands here, this is just you embodying, embracing, stepping into your divine masculine power as well. Whether you are masculine or feminine, it does not matter. With the King of Wands here, you are definitely, I feel like, stepping up more in this relationship and in your life in general. You've been feeling this like spark of new energy, especially after the clarity that you have been receiving after rejecting everything that does not, align with you. You have definitely been feeling motivated, feeling definitely, what are the other words that like really truly embodies the King of Wands? It's like energized, expressive, very expressive, definitely speaking your mind a bit more. With the Gemini here, the King of Wands behind it. So maybe your words are a lot less harsh, a lot more powerful. Maybe you were communicating a little harshly because of the mistrust and all of those emotions that comes with being hurt and experiencing hurt in the past. But people are hearing your passion now. I think even this person who was so close to you, they hear the passion in the authority in your voice all the time. And they are helping you express that or wanting you to express that to others so that others can see it as well. Because to other people, it's silence. Like, people have to be really close to you in order to get you to really open up, it feels like. Again, sometimes it's a trauma response. Sometimes that's just how we are in life. Only the closest ones get close to us, and we give face for others. We give not a facade, but our authentic self, and maybe the depth comes later if that even is an opportunity for some people. But with the King of Wands here, it's saying, I am showing this more. I am stepping up more and creatively. I am embodying myself more authentically, creatively as well. When you see something, it's going to be made by me. It's going to be touched by me because you feel my energy through it. That's what the King of Wands always gives me. So, and again, you've been carrying so much in the past. You haven't had a chance to really be that person, to really express yourself fully. This is you speaking more, speaking up, speaking deeply, passionately. Not necessarily just emotionally, but just like expressively is the only really good word I have. People will hear your joy, will hear your content, will hear all good, all the good things that you've been working on. They will hear it through your voice, is what I'm feeling like. They will hear it through your speech, through your actions too, but definitely through your speech. Okay, so I have one affirmation here that I'm going to be pulling for you for this specific situation and this specific relationship. You have, the key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Wow. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. Pile number one, you definitely are releasing old paradigms, old beliefs. I thought that A was going to fulfill me, but it turns out that B, C, and D were absolutely more fulfilling. There was something that you had to release, and you're seeing the other side of what that release has done for you. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. You're clearing it. Alt delete. You're clearing out what you think that you needed, and you are being receptive to what Spirit is bringing you is for your highest good. At the bottom of the deck, when I think I surrendered, I surrender more. You are in a state of surrender in a state of harmony with spirit, harmonizing all of the things that, you know, you have prayed for in the past. I think a lot is showing up for you, especially with this Four of Wands energy. A lot of work has been manifesting for you. Not necessarily work to do, but work that you have done. Work that you have done, which is why you had bounty at the bottom of the deck for that other deck. So Spirit is saying things are good around you. Things are good around you, and things are getting good within you. So the key to prayer is to keep on praying for the good to appear, to show itself. And when there is work to be done, let it be done. Call in the energy to do the emotional work, to do the spiritual work. But the key to prayer is to forget what you think that you need. It's not a partner. It's not X amount of money. It's, you know, it's something that will bring you to your most harmonizing state. This person is here to share in that energy with you. They care about you deeply. Ooh, there it is on the floor. They care about you deeply. And you have the angel number 0. I am limitless. There is no beginning and no end. All is infinite. It is time to develop your spiritual side. You are gaining new sight and understanding of both godly and earthly things. Both godly and earthly. You are limitless. You are rejecting everything that has told you in the past that you are not, even though you have carried so much and proven to yourself that you are so limitless, that you are so strong. But between the earthly and between the godly things, you are harmonizing this energy. You are coming to conclusions about yourself. Again, with someone by your side, helping you to open your eyes to certain things. And know that there is no beginning. There is no end. There's just time. There's opportunity and space for things. This is an opportunity. This reading is coming to you at the moment where you are developing your spiritual side. Maybe this is, you know, one of your first times doing a reading like this or listening to a reading like this. Welcome, of course. But you are developing something that is going to bring you so much emotional and spiritual joy. At the bottom of the deck, you have 9. It is your compassion that makes you shine. You are devoted to helping the greater good and have a strong talent for speaking up for others with that King of Wands. Your soul is most satisfied when you are being of service. I am compassionate. Wow. So absolutely beautiful. Pile number 1. I believe this is where I'm going to end your reading here. I hope that it finds you well. I hope that this bond, this connection, if meant to be, strengthens and grows in beautiful abundance as it does appear in this reading. And I hope that this reading gave you so much clarity and peace all at the same time. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 2. You chose this beautiful Tiger's Eye Moon. One of my favorite crystals. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just going to put it to the side here. And we're going to get right into the reading. As I mentioned in the introduction, this is the Heal the Argument deck. And while you may not be in an argument specifically or a disagreement even, there may be a miscommunication or misalignment of energy in general that needs healing and must be, you know, focused on at this time. So you have sometimes being validated is all that is needed. Wow. Wow. So I feel like pile number 1 was definitely talking about a very specific relationship. And I think this is going to feel more like an overall, this is what you need to heal some of the relationships that are closest to you. I'm going to look at the Show Me Oracle for Spirit to show me even closer what this situation is for you. Sometimes being validated is all that is needed. I think this goes many different ways. Sometimes to heal an argument or disagreement with someone, all that is necessary is for them to validate your feelings, validate that they've hurt you, that there is a misalignment of energy. We have show me what grounds me. I'm gonna make sure this is your card before keeping it. But sometimes it's just a validation of, oh yeah, I hurt you. Yeah, that's your card. At the bottom of the deck, show me the wake up call. Okay, pile 2. We are going to get into this. Show me what grounds me. So I think, as I was mentioning, sometimes this goes 2 ways. All we need is for someone to validate that they have hurt us, to acknowledge. Acknowledgement is what we need. But sometimes the situation only calls for our own validation of self. Sometimes all we need is to validate ourselves, to know that, I'm going to ground myself in the realization that whether right or wrong, this is how I feel. Like whether I'm actually right about something or I'm not right about it at all, this is how I feel. And I'm going to validate myself here because that is what I need. I need to be honest. I need to I keep wanting to say pay attention to myself, but it's more like I need to validate myself. I need to tell myself I'm not crazy. I feel what I feel. This emotion is here, maybe bothering me. And that acknowledgement in itself sometimes helps us to ground, to bring us back to realization, to remind us that maybe we are reacting to something from the past rather than our present, and to ground us in our reality. So I'm going to look even more closely at what this situation is for you, pile number 2. Sometimes being validated is all that is needed. And with the Sacred Bee Oracle, I am going to read, this is a new deck to me, so I am going to read it out of the book, the short passage that comes up. Sometimes being validated is all that is needed. Let's see what Spirit has to say for you. You have devotion. Wow. That is so beautiful. So we have devotion here. And at the bottom of the deck, we have expansion. Wow. That is absolutely gorgeous. So there absolutely is an expansion taking place in your life right now, in regards to this relationship in some way. I'm going to look very closely at the message in the book here just to get more clarity on what this devotion is in your life. Let's see. Okay. Contemplate what you are devoted to. Identify a cause, a person, or a spiritual subject that you care deeply about. Be honest and seek to understand if there's any ego or an unfulfilled need disguising itself as love or desire. Uncovering and understanding devotion is a step towards healing the heart and soul. So I'm actually going to read this again because I feel like it's going to resonate for others differently, and I want everyone to be able to capture the message. Contemplate what you are devoted to. Take a pause right now and what does devotion mean to you, and what do you feel devoted to is what this is asking. Identify a cause, a person, or a spiritual subject that you care deeply about. Be honest and seek to understand if there is any ego or an unfulfilled need disguising itself as love or desire. Uncovering and understanding devotion is a step towards healing the heart and soul. So I think you're going to have, as we mentioned, a very grounding moment come to you where Spirit is going to be asking you, or you're going to be asking yourself, what am I devoted to right now? What am I giving my energy to? What am I feeding? What am I being involved in? And where is ego amongst all of that? I think that's something that is not easy for us to do at all, is to check our egos at the door and to see where it shows up the most. Again, especially when we are asking of anyone, to validate us, especially when we all have the power to validate ourselves. Again, this is not an easy message necessarily to hear, because we're not always taught how to devote to ourselves, how to empower ourselves, how to validate ourselves. I feel like even when we receive praise and all that other stuff from other people, it doesn't feel fulfilled. It doesn't feel, not necessarily genuine, but it doesn't feel as if it doesn't feel as good as it would feel coming from you. Being proud of yourself, being proud of what you have created or are in the process of creating. So Spirit is calling you to devotion. It is not necessarily the devotion that is shown in a religious sense. It is a devotion to something that is of the highest good for everyone involved, where you don't necessarily need validation either, because the work that you do is fulfilling on its own. So again, I knew that this wasn't necessarily going to be a one-on-one connection that you have necessarily, like it felt like with pile number 1. This is more of a overall, how am I going to interact best with others? And this is through self-validation. We have embrace here with all of the quartz and the with all the crystals. We have rose quartz, acceptance and self-love. We have citrine, a boost in confidence. We have sunstone with empowering ourselves. We have the calla lily, beauty and admiration. And for our potion, we have kindness. Ooh, this is literally everything that we're talking about, you guys. Like, our Spirit is really calling you to embrace what it is that is. We have clarity that popped out. Let me make sure it's yours. Yeah, it is. Clarity is yours. At the bottom of the deck, we have juggle. I'm gonna get into all of these. Juggle, we have results, development, fruit. You also have wintergreen, a pain reliever, protection, and good luck. We have the battery here with positive energy and charge, and the potion is energy. So definitely an uptick in energy for you, pile number 2. Again, in regards to communicating with others, to experiencing with others, I think there's going to be an opportunity for you coming in, for you to embrace or to find refuge with others, but it's not going to be until after, I think, you show yourself a little love. I feel like it's going to be with others because of like this, mind you, these are spirits here gathering around her, and as she finds clarity, I feel like this could even be depicted as like parts of her own self in the clarity card. But this also feels like, to me, you embracing and being in connection with other people as well. So Spirit is asking you to embrace. And there's something that you're being called to embrace about yourself. I think it has to do with your creativity, with your, more espresso side. But there's like a lot of different information coming for you. Spirit, first of all, would love for you to ground yourself, especially it feels as if, like, when you're receiving information, they want you to prepare before you intake information. So like grounding and meditating before listening to this message in order for you to receive it in such a way. Because again, I didn't feel like this was necessarily the easiest message to give. So maybe it's not the easiest message to hear either. But this is also me validating you. I do want to, point that out as well. Validating the parts of you that maybe you have a hard time embracing right now. Like your beauty. Maybe you don't feel as if you look the way that you want to. Maybe you don't feel as if you are admirable, or as admirable as other people say that you are. Because again, it feels as if people still do validate you. They still, sing praises about you. And it doesn't really click through. It doesn't always click through. Like in the silence, you don't hear that one person who said those great things about whatever it is. It's like you hear the emptiness or the lack. Maybe that's something that you focus on a little bit more, is the lack rather than what is actually present in your life. Either way, because it will be different for everyone, Spirit wants you to know that this is a time for you to sit with yourself, listen to yourself, and embrace the things that it is trying to tell you, that your body and your mind is trying to tell you. Because this will feed you those feelings. You will feel heard. You will feel validated. You will feel seen. And you will also, I feel like a new devotion to self, to bettering yourself, to understanding yourself as well. Which is something I feel like you really want. You want to know who you are. You want to have clarity in your purpose and in your steps in life, just like the things that you do, the chances that you take. You want to feel clear about them, feel confident about them as well. So with this devotion here, it also feels like you may be getting a little bit more into prayer. However you pray, I do want to point out, however you pray, take what resonates, communication with something outside of yourself, the higher being outside of yourself. So your higher self or spirit, God, whoever you speak to in the silence, you're connecting with that aspect in order to shed a lot of the lack that you feel, a lot of the disempowerment that you feel at times. And again, this could be like just conditioning from past experiences where you have felt not enough, not creative enough, not emotional enough for certain relationships or experiences, or maybe too much of something as well. But again, all about the present moment and focusing on what you can feed yourself now in order to help boost yourself, boost your confidence in yourself, and to see yourself how other people see you. We have the High Priestess. Yes, this is definitely you. You are an intuitive. It feels like, especially as I was mentioning, like the spirits around this being here, it's like you communicate. I feel like with spirit, you receive downloads, information, intuitive information that feels, otherworldly to people, or doesn't make sense to other people. You are able to decipher, is what the High Priestess does. She takes the spiritual messages and deciphers them into language for those who need it. And maybe this is what you do. This is maybe what you do as like a living. Maybe you are a High Priestess as for a living, whether you are male, female, or non-gendered. You show up as a spiritual being for others, and you are so busy helping to validate other people in their journeys and their process. And sometimes you need it for yourself, and sometimes you can only get it from yourself, and it's only best when you hear it from yourself. We also have the Hermit, big energy coming out here for you. This again is not feeling relational to another, which is what was mostly the intention for this reading. This feels like every connection that you have with another person is based on who you are. And while that is true for everyone, sometimes, the readings will be focused on what can I do in order to better this relationship with an individual person. This is what can I do to better connect with people, with my community, with the mass of people. And this is over time. This is life changes that you are here. What grounds you is taking moments to yourself. It really centers you. It really brings you clarity. The fact that all of these very introspective cards are over here, this person is meditating in this reading or in this card, and the Hermit is known for self-reflection, for going inward, for leaving the crowd, leaving the masses in order to go into self and do a lot of internal work. And the High Priestess, they do a lot of spiritual work as well, working with the third eye, the crown chakra, really clearing those things out. And the Hermit, I feel like, I'm not 100% sure on this, but the Hermit feels as if it works a lot with the root chakra, the lower chakras, grounding yourself, not necessarily in motion, which we can sometimes see the Hermit is in motion, but sometimes you can just sit with self in a very dark, what people see as a dark room, and you are able to come back out with some kind of higher knowledge about yourself. This is what is happening in this devotion. This is what is happening in the Hermit card here. You're being very intentional about the time that you take to yourself, to ground yourself, to open yourself up to higher messages, higher divine messages, in order to move you to your clarity, in order to embrace yourself more, embrace your gifts more, embrace your uniqueness more, just to purely validate yourself. You're going to come out of this Hermit mode different, very different about yourself. We also have the Eight of Cups, and this is with renounce. I'm going to get into the zodiac in just a minute. I just want to make sure you guys can see the cards and the beauty in them. But yes, the Eight of Cups, renounce. You are walking away from, I think, just doubting yourself. From doubting yourself, from not feeding yourself the kindness that you deserve, the positive self-talk that you deserve. You're renouncing that. I think this is something that you have been very used to in the past, things that you have been emotionally just maybe not necessarily even the most aware of, but you've known these small habits about yourself, and something is being called within you to walk away from it, especially if it causes you to seek validation from others. And I'm gonna speak directly to myself right now. Oh, I hope that resonates for you. Oh, I hope that you receive the message in the way that it was meant to be. And it's the message will always reach who it is supposed to reach. You will always hear what you are meant to hear, see what you're meant to see, and get the information that Spirit is sending to you. So you are renouncing the doubt and the disbelief, the confusion or the uncertainty about who you are and your purpose. You're letting all of that go. You're taking up a practice, again, with the devotion here, a practice of validating yourself, a practice of feeding yourself what you give to others continuously in this Hermit mode. You are walking away from that into the Hermit mode to find your higher self, to talk to your higher self, to commune with your higher self, and to bring in some of this healing around who you are. Pile number 2. We also have, what is this? The Nine of Pentacles. Yes, and we have the word gain here. So you are an abundant being. Pile number 2. You are very much so an abundant being. You work very hard, I feel like, to create stability in your life. Maybe this is something where you've felt very devoted to in the past, is towards your monetary gain. And Spirit wants you to know that this is not something that you have to focus on right now, because it is here. You have the Nine of Pentacles here. And I think intuitively you sense this gain, even though it may not be in your life right now, because we're so busy in our hermit mode, we're not necessarily focused on the abundance. We're focused on the internal, not as much of the external. We're walking away from focusing so much on that too, I think, because money does not validate you. Pile number 2, you know this. Money does not ground you. Money is energy. It is an energetic exchange to be able to afford opportunities of peace and silence to ground yourself, but it does not ground you. You have to call that energy into yourself, that calmness, that peace into yourself. The money will not do it for you. So 9 of Pentacles is here. Virgo is here twice with the Hermit and the 9 of Pentacles, just to reiterate that you are an abundant being, that you're doing the physical and the emotional work, the spiritual work again. I even think Pisces is here twice with the moon here. Pisces is co-ruled by the moon, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure, but Pisces here, and the moon, Saturn as well. All of these things may be very important to you. With Saturn here is Capricorn and Aquarius as well. But the 9 of Pentacles, again, just embracing your abundance, embracing that you are an abundant being, that resources are not running out. You're not running out of anything. You are simply seeking to feel comfort. You're seeking to feel comfort in the physical through financial, quite possibly. So Spirit, again, wants to remind you, yes, abundance. It's a thing. It does play some level of importance in our human existence, but it is not everything. And intuitively, this is something that you already know with the High Priestess here. But you also have the 5 of Wands with strife, okay? So in regards, again, to the external, to the other, personal relationships that you have outside of yourself, maybe even outside of family, but family has strife too. The relationships that are closest to you, around you, there feels like there's a bit of tension. Especially with the Leo here, maybe there's a lot of people trying to be in the spotlight of something, trying to grab attention, trying to be at the center of attention. And maybe that's hard for you to be validated when there's all of this chaos. There's all of this, there's all of this strife. And no one gets a word in edgewise. You feel unheard, again, unvalidated, unseen. So again, especially with the Hermit here, pulling away from that, with the 8 of Cups as well, pulling away from those kind of environments where everyone's trying to be front and center, and just go off and do your own thing. I feel like, especially if it's in regards to your career and you feel like the industry that you're in is just oversaturated, overpopulated, go off and do your own thing. Stop trying to compete necessarily with what someone else is doing, and just focus on what you find joy in creating, especially in your hermit mode where you know that eyes aren't on you. You're just free to create and exist and be who you are. Definitely, Spirit is encouraging you to focus on those things, because that is where a lot of your abundance lies too, is where you're not focused on the competition, you're not focused on the other, you're focused on yourself. And beautiful things emerge from that in turn. So when there's strife, when there's discordant energy, don't be combative. Don't rush in to fight it up. But also, you don't have to cut anyone off. Just taking some time to yourself. Your phone's not next to you. You're not necessarily on social media or checking in on the drama or anything like that. You are off to your own, finding your clarity, being in touch with your devotion once again, embracing yourself. You are definitely taking a more holistic path than possibly those around you. Even if it is holistic, the energy about it doesn't feel so competitive, doesn't feel so combative or combustive either. All of those words. It's something that you can grow with ease and comfort as long as you continue to ground yourself in your purpose and with the knowledge of who you are. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Empress, which is so beautiful. Another major arcana signifying major life changes for you, coming to you, and all in regards to your healing, your nurturing of self, and the gentleness, the caring, the compassion that you're bringing to yourself. The validation will feed you a lot. So some of you may be interested in affirmations. Self-love affirmations definitely can go a long way for you. If that is something you're looking more into, it can help you to validate yourself, to affirm yourself, and to feed you the things that you don't have to look to other people for it, because again, you give it to you best. You show your self-love best. I feel like what this to me feels like is like you going out, getting your nails done, or doing something small to treat yourself in a financial way, especially because you have the Nine of Pentacles here. So you have the ability to do so, I feel like, safely, of course, using your discernment. Treating yourself in a nice little way, and then coming back home, maybe taking a nap, listening to soothing, non-speaking music, really treating yourself, moving away again from things that do not do those things, like social media, which feeds us the comparative aspect. Reality TV, we know is not actually reality. No one's actually really living with a camera in front of their face 24/7. So different things like that will actually feed you the things that will lead to you embracing yourself more, loving yourself more, being gentle with yourself, validating yourself. Pile number 2. This is a reading all about you, in reaction to others, in experience with others. So what you're working on right now mostly is yourself. So this could be a situation where you're not maybe around a lot of people at this current moment. I have to get up because your cards flew across the floor. But maybe you're not in a lot of connection with other people right now, especially with the Hermit card here. Maybe you're more off to yourself. Family doesn't come around as frequently, or friends are not as, reliable, which it leaves space for us, leaves an open schedule for you. So that's good. So this gives you the time to focus on yourself. When you don't have a lot of energy, like in the past, that has grabbed for your attention, that has, been looking for an audience, if I can be very frank about it. So this is a good time for you to seclude, go in, and then come out with greater knowledge in the end of it. So I do have one affirmation for you in regards to this healing that you are going through. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So maybe you have had a fear that you were always going to be a part of the audience and never on stage. Maybe those relationships closest to you have always made you feel like, I'm going to be stuck validating myself for the rest of my life while having all of these empty connections that actually don't feed me anything. And that is not the case. I think as you are taking on this process, you are introducing love, the teacher of love, into your life, and knowing that if you walk away, you will find greater. Okay, maybe it's not walking away from these connections again, because sometimes we're born with them. Sometimes it's not as black and white as that. But definitely finding fulfillment elsewhere as well. When you start to feed yourself the validation that you are so clearly lacking in other relationships, and even just again within yourself, when you start to feed yourself that, then the like-minded, the more aligned connections start to come in as well, and you find yourself surrounded by mutuals. Okay, so you witness the darkness and you call on the light with your prayer. So again, I think we mentioned it briefly. Whoever and however you pray to, definitely talking with spirit and being led by the universe. So you are definitely being guided, especially when you find yourself answering calls less, responding to notifications less. It's like, okay, I'm going to be more intentional about this and really look as deeply as I can. At the bottom of the deck, we have, in every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. And that's literally what we're talking about. Literally word for word is what I was saying. Like, you, in every moment, the universe is conspiring for you, for your highest good, to lead you towards those who, think in alignment, who get the higher picture, who get the highest good for all, and the energy of love. You can have platonic love, romantic love, even feelings of like familial love, even if you don't share blood with the same person. Again, a lot of you could be starseeds, and your tribe is being called into you and around you. Those who understand you, get you, and they get what you're saying. They get what you're doing. They get why you're doing it. But first you have to find the clarity in speech and know that when you are speaking, it's not in competition with others. It's to help enlighten others. It's always to help enlighten. We're not on a stage. We're in a crowd. We're all together, figuring this life shit out. And so the starseeds, those people who get it, who get what it is that where it is that you're coming from, they are coming, is what Spirit is saying. Now is the time for solitude. Your angel number is number 19. Independence and self-sufficiency are necessities to you. You are extremely capable in life and in work and aren't afraid to take big risks to achieve the life you desire. I am a pioneer. Okay, so this is what is grounding you at this time, especially, is, again, your independence. You don't need to be in a big crowd right now. You don't need to be surrounded by a lot of people, even though I'm making this reading during the holiday season. So, November and December is where a lot of people come into contact with others just more frequently in general. So what you are thriving off of is independence and self-sufficiency. Like, that is completely what I see in this. Again, the Eight of Cups it feels like it's walking away from the Five of Wands. Like, you're done being in the crowd. You're done trying to fight for attention, for validation, for anything that, you can feed yourself abundantly. Like, you have an abundance of attention to give to yourself, of love to give to yourself, of devotion, of time and energy to give to the betterment of yourself. I think you're going to be a pioneer in this in regards to the relationships that are around you. They're going to start asking, oh, where's so-and-so? Where's so-and-so? What's so-and-so up to? I am pioneering my life. I am paving the way for emotional abundance, for spiritual guidance and knowledge. And others will eventually see that. They will eventually see that. But this is something for you to see within yourself, to validate within yourself. We also have 2 as your other bottom of the deck energy. You have great talent for finding solutions. Your intuitive and unbiased nature allow you to see all sides of any situation and advise others towards the most fair and beneficial outcome. I am diplomatic. And this will stay at the bottom of the deck, of course, because we talked about how much you do for others, how much you are able to help others see just by being a seer yourself. So you see all sides of any situation and advise others towards the most fair and beneficial outcome. You are still that person, even in solitude. You do not have to worry about your audience disappearing. If you go into yourself and you find new information, spiritual information about yourself, you don't ever fear that. Society has made us fear, like, if we don't keep people's attention, then we will lose the audience. We will lose the people who are supposed to be here and support us and love us. All of these things are false. They are all false. You are only meant to be here to better yourself first and foremost, and then do the work with other people. And they will come and go as they please. That is a good thing. That means you are being diplomatic for many different people. You're meeting many different people. And I want to go back to it because we had this one at the bottom of the deck, the wake-up call. I feel like this is a really big wake-up call for you, pile number 2, that none of it matters. Like the external part of it. None of it matters as much as the internal. And people will very much so respect you and what you are doing as you continue to put your authenticity in it and embrace yourself fully. Okay? I feel as if that was all, right? Yes, these are all the cards that I have for you, pile number 2. I hope that you enjoyed this reading and it brought you much clarity and peace. If it did, please give it a big thumbs up because I would greatly appreciate it. It would be an awesome, energetic exchange to have with you. And I will see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 3. You chose the beautiful red tiger's eye. I believe is the proper name for it. This small crystal, and I'm going to just put it off to the side here so that we can get started with your reading. As I mentioned in the introduction and in everyone else's pile, I am starting with the Heal the Argument deck, but this may not actually be an argument or a disagreement that you are in. This is just a connection that needs healing in general, and what is your part in that healing. So we have, it's okay to lose this argument. Relax, chill, let love win. Okay, so again, I always do mention also that tarot does not tell us anything that we are not already currently aware of. This message is not meant to be a shock or a surprise to you, but simply your confirmation around letting it, like, it's okay to lose an argument. And what that means is to not necessarily get the last word. You don't need to have the last word in something because inevitably what is the best for everyone involved is love. So maybe love is letting someone have the last word, letting them feel as if they have triumphed, when we know that, you know, right versus wrong is not always as black and white as it may seem for everyone. So definitely being very aware that you don't have to be right. You don't have to be right. There's something that you can be flexible on. I'm feeling like more like not a cooperation, but like a coming together, like a wow, what is the word? I'm not really sure. At the bottom of the deck, show me my career strength is what we are looking at for you. So this could be a connection within your career, within your workspace, within whatever it is that you're trying to create financially. Show me the future is also here. So we're looking at the future of this connection, this relationship it is. And we are looking to the future to know that at the end of this disagreement or at the end of this argument, there is love. There is an opportunity to grow here. So this feels like a disagreement that's not necessarily life-altering or life-threatening. If it is, of course, then you have to take absolutely what resonates for you. But to me, this feels like a situation possibly with a boss or a coworker where you do not agree. Not even just a coworker or a boss, but like someone that you're working closely with. You don't agree with their thought of action or their plan of action for the future, quite possibly. But Spirit is asking you to be flexible in some way. They're asking you to be flexible, to relax in regards to this argument. So I am working today with the Sacred Bee Oracle and the Sacred Bee Tarot. So with the Oracle, I'm going to read the short passage that's in the book, but we had the Prism fly out for you. What a stunning, absolutely gorgeous card. I'm going to take a moment to read this again out of the book in regards to this connection for you. And at the bottom of the deck, we also have redemption, which is a beautiful word. It is a beautiful energy to have in regards to any disagreement or things like that, because there is some quality that you thought that you, quality about yourself or about your work that you thought that you may have lost in regards to, like, you're trying to win this over. Like, you're trying to tell this person, my way is the way. And there's redemption in knowing that there is success in either outcome, and that knowing that we are open to that, knowing that we are becoming more flexible to our success and the way success shows up in our life, means that we have other opportunities, more opportunities of that same success. We have the element of ether is what this circle symbolizes on the top of the prism here. I'm gonna look and see what the prism says for you with the ether. It's connected to the ether. How is your own prism fragmenting your actual truth into 1,000 different stories? Explore all of the facets in your life that seem disconnected. Try pulling them together to understand that they are, in fact, one large diamond, your higher self. Okay? So in the prism, even like the archetype of the prism, we see a fracturing of light. The prism reflects different colors based on how the light hits it, of course. So Spirit is wanting you to look at all of these fragmented parts of yourself that you feel like you can't seem to, like, piece together in order to defend your purpose or to defend your point. They want you to know that you are a diamond, that you are one cluster of an experience, and that, you know, just because there's a disagreement here does not mean that someone is trying to take away from that, or that something is taking away from that. This is feeling like a very specific message. Pile number 3. So if you've gotten this far, it feels as if you are somehow aligned with the message that is trying to come through, is that you are working very closely with someone. And again, I keep hearing the career because it is highlighted at the bottom of the deck here. And in regards to your future, like a career is heavily important. So you want to put your best foot forward. You want your best to shine through. You're trying to leave a legacy, it feels like here. And sometimes you don't trust other people to be in charge of that legacy. Sometimes you feel like, I can only see this through. I'm the only person who will see this through in the way that it needs to. I'm the only person who can do this, this, and this. And I'm split off into so many different aspects of myself that it's giving me a hard time to try to keep up. So Spirit is wanting you to know that someone here is, you know, also trying to get their point across. And just because they're right doesn't mean that you're wrong, is also what I'm hearing. Desire. Wow. Good luck and pure love. And we also have the mindset here with I will, I am, and I can affirmations. So you are absolutely desiring something. Again, desiring a healthy, an abundant, an admirable future is what you're looking for and looking towards. And you don't want anything to get in the way of that. Pile number 3. It's understandable. It's understandable. But a career strength, which is why it's at the bottom of the deck, a strength of yours to be in a career that you love and want to do for the rest of your life, means that you must also be open and willing to work with other people to adapt different mindsets that will help you, you know, open up to the flow of things, is what Spirit wants you to do. We have tune in to the vibrational connection. We have water lily with the feminine spirit, enlightenment and illumination. And the potion that you have here is purity. Purity. So this is purity of thought, purity of flow as well. You're going with the flow a lot more, or this is what this situation, this argument or disagreement is trying to open you up to is the flow of things. They're not trying to force your hand. It doesn't feel like they're not even trying to change who you are with the diamond and the prism here. They want the uniqueness of you to shine through as well. And it feels as if like they're trying to make that happen. At the bottom of the deck, we have disclose. So in the mask here, we have a secret or a false face. Magnifying glass is to investigate more. Lavender is distrust, and the potion for it is to reveal. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, this is telling me there's something being disclosed here, whether it's from you or this other person. There's just like an identity like that is not being expressed fully here. It's desiring to be expressed. You are wanting to open up and to manifest this new mindset, this abundant future, this flow into your life. You are trying to continuously call those things in, but it feels like there's a bit of a hesitation, a controlling aspect to it. You still want to really X, Y, and Z the outcome, and the outcome is saying, you can't manifest me that way. I have to be open to possibilities. I have to be open to all different kinds of things in order for me to give you the most abundant future that there is. So again, whether this is just with one person or not, whether this is actually career or it could just be like family's opinions on your career and you're not having it, you don't want to hear it, it is not aligned. Spirit is saying open up to the flow. Open up to the flow. Maybe, and this is quite possible, maybe your family is tapping, or if it's a family member, of course, for a specific few of you. Maybe if it is family, they are connecting with that inner child aspect of you that you have buried or hidden or lost connection with. And that inner child portion of yourself is screaming to be free. You are wanting to connect with your more creative side. You are wanting to do these things, and yet you don't feel as if you are ready, as if you should, or something. Something is holding you back from embracing your uniqueness. And someone here is trying to lead you more towards it, or to embrace both aspects of, I had to throw it so it wouldn't fall, have to embrace both aspects of your creativity, and if it is a business partner, coworker, or employer or something like that, having them share in the creativity with you. Okay, so we had the Seven of Swords falling out with futility. Okay, so this actually speaks heavily over the mindset that we are trying to release, trying to remove from ourselves as almost like an identity. Again, we are believing something about ourselves or our process that is not necessarily who we are, who we long to be, who we desire to be, what we desire to create. Maybe we're focused on creating something that is not actually aligned with our future or the things that we are desiring to create. And someone here is saying, but this isn't what you wanted to do. And you're like, okay, but this is going to get me the most X, Y, and Z. And it's like, but this isn't what you wanted to do. And it's okay to lose that argument, because again, Spirit is saying at some part of this is true. Some part of what it is that they're saying is true. And you can relax in this reality and knowing that there is still more to be uncovered within your future. I'm going to triple check and make sure that these three are actually your cards. They flew out so strongly, and they want it to be seen. Okay, these are yours. Wow, Ten of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Ten of Cups, and this is I feel like this is like another word for saturation, or I can't really and I don't want to butcher it, but I feel like this is like just the fulfillment aspect that you were feeling and facing when you challenge these thoughts that you have. We also have the Hermit, which has come out for another group. Definitely within this time, within the future, possibly the near future, very much so, you're going to be interested in taking some time to yourself. Taking some time to yourself. Let's see what else we have. Wow. Okay. 8 of Cups, again, also came out for someone, or another pile as well. So the desires that you are wanting, the desires that you have, is calling you to walk away, again, from a mindset that no longer fits you, no longer suits you. Again, this argument, disagreement is around this. They're saying, I see more out of you. I see more out of this. I see your true career strengths, and I want you to just live in that. And again, this is not something that you are used to hearing. Maybe people don't tell you about your potential. They just expect you to find it and live in it. They don't tell you about your uniqueness. They just expect you to believe that you are unique as your fingerprint, because that's the common one, right? So someone is trying to uncover you to you, it feels like. This could also be a lot of you just facing yourself, like having an internal disagreement. I do want to point that out as well, because the Hermit is very solitary. So this could be an internal kind of disagreement within yourself, especially in regards to like other people, though. Like you have this idea about how people view you or your creativity or your flow of life. And that was for a very specific person. But again, Spirit is saying with this connection, we are uncovering the truth. In this Hermit mode, we are finding our truth. We are seeking it emotionally. We are actually going towards it. Maybe many times in the past, we have tried to not fully embrace. I want to know more about that. Judgment. Because of previous thoughts and ideas, conditionings, upbringings, you have thought that life is supposed to look a certain way, and there are so many things around you that are saying, but it could look a lot different. It could look a lot more beautiful. It could look a lot less conflicting in the mind. Having mental clarity is actually a thing that people exist and have, is real. You can wake up in peace is also what I'm hearing. You can have a peaceful moment to yourself. You don't have to fear being alone and being alone with your thoughts by yourself either, is also what I'm feeling like. But with the Judgment here, there's a lot, especially with two major arcana cards, two major arcana cards, and definitely surrounding the 7 of Swords. This is Spirit saying, like, it's time to let these preconceived notions about yourself go. It's time to view yourself in your full potential, in your full reality. 10-10 also, as I'm recording. We have the root of the powers of earth with the Ace of Pentacles. Wow. And you know what? I think that's actually quite beautiful with the Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So at first you had the 10 of Cups, and now you have the Ace of Cups to complete the tarot. I think this is really beautiful that you have the Ace of Pentacles, though, because your fears are going to be reaffirmed by some kind of monetary occurrence in your life. It could not just necessarily be money, but an uptick in like followers or your audience or something like that. Something that brings of value, like you are receiving a gift from Spirit to affirm the flow that you are heading in. So maybe you decided to listen to this internal pull that has been going back and forth in your mind, or maybe you decided to listen to your business partner, your coworker, or something like that, and then you start getting all of these confirmations, affirmations, and you start to realize, oh wow, what was really holding me back this entire time was judgments about myself. disbelief and doubt and these other thoughts that weren't true about myself and my process. I was actually being triggered. Like, the argument was triggered by the things that I have gathered up as life experiences. And when I was actually faced with my desire, I decided to, attempt to try to turn away from it. But again, Spirit is going to affirm, as you continue to, accept the things, the good things that are coming into your life, as you continue to acknowledge that, what you thought wasn't necessarily the truth about yourself, which is a hard reality. Again, something that's hard to hear from me, yourself, or anyone else for that matter, which is possibly why this argument started, is based off of a truth that hurt. A truth that hurt, and that maybe you weren't ready to hear. Maybe you thought you were ready to hear. Maybe you went to someone seeking some kind of, you were looking for someone to review something, and they gave you their honest opinion and said, is this what you wanted to create? Is this what your desires have been calling you towards? And you're like, well, shit, no, it's not. I actually kind of didn't feel the things that I thought I was going to feel when I did this thing. I thought it was going to be more. I thought I was going to create more. It was going to feel different, even more fulfilling. I thought it was going to feel more fulfilling. And then they're saying, well, yeah, it's because it's not what you actually wanted to do. It's not what you actually wanted to do. So that's okay. Again, pile number 3, I just want to talk mostly about how the relax and the chill aspect is all in the hermit mode. Take some time to yourself, especially if you feel a bit sensitive towards others when they give you this truth. Whenever this situation happens, it also feels like it hasn't happened yet at the time that I'm recording this, or that you may even be viewing this. So maybe you'll have to come back to this message and hear it again for some very few of you. But when that time is, it's time to go into your hermit mode, digest what it is that has been told to you. Look at how you are holding judgment towards yourself and others. Maybe even judgment towards others because they are expressing their truth through their work. Also, I do want to point out again the redemption at the bottom of the deck, coming full circle towards your reading. It feels as if you are reaching a redemption, like this relationship, this connection, or whatever, who is so graciously telling you about yourself and how you have wanted to create this entire time. There is a redemption here for you and this person. Creatively, spiritually, there is a redemption of the relationship. It will renew itself. You don't necessarily have to worry about, because it's like the 7 of Swords is definitely, it always gives me self disillusionment. So when we are able to wake up to our own clarity, then we are able to look at the relationships around us and appreciate them for the clarity that it brings us, for the clarity that they bring us. So there is don't worry about the destruction of the relationship while in this hermit mode. Just know that if they cared that much about you to tell you, to remind you of your desires, to remind you of who you are, then they will absolutely be on the other side of solitude and a time of refinement is what it feels like. You're refining your emotional triggers. You are taking stock of what is going on internally, how you would love to shed this for the future. Certain triggers you're ready to heal past. You're ready to release certain judgments of yourself again and accept your blessings that are coming towards you. As soon as this process starts to trigger, you will be affirmed monetarily in some way, in some physical, actual way. Just a confirmation of some sort. So maybe a new client, if it is you and your business partner, or new job responsibilities, new, almost like a raise of some sort, even quite possibly. with the Ace of Pentacles. It will be different for everyone. But your flow is being affirmed. Your future is being affirmed in this process. It is a scary, scary thing, especially again, because if you have a mindset of I'm headed in this direction and it's going to go just like this, and that gets thrown off, or we get confused as to, I was aiming for this, but I received something else. It's like there's clarity coming for you into why all of this has happened. So the affirmation that I have for you is, I surrender to a power greater than me. Wow. I've never seen this card before, ever. At the bottom of the deck, I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness, even admitting wrongs or like not full truths, not rights. Admitting when you have went left when the direction, the GPS totally said to go right, and you're like, oh, missed it. So I surrender to a power greater than me. This is not necessarily in regards to the argument or the disagreement here that we have. This is in response to your relationship with God, or whoever you call God. Pile number 3, okay? I'm not here to talk religion or beliefs or anything like that. This is strictly a conversation between you and that power, and how, Spirit is here to help you shed, to help you surrender, to help you get back into flow, to help you release the judgments. We're not doing it all alone. You're not by yourself in this, especially, when I said don't worry about the relationship or the connection that you are not turning away from, but going into hermit mode. We go in it alone. So don't be afraid to lose that relationship. But the hermit mode is not loneliness, because Spirit is guiding us there. Spirit is with us there. They are with us through the entire process. The angel number that you have is 31. Your approach to life is an effective mix of both practicality and imagination. Your mind is stirring with creative ideas, and you have the organizational skills to manifest them to life. I am disciplined. That is so aligned. Pile number 3, because we've been talking about your creativity this entire time and how it's just bursting at the seams and ready to be witnessed. So as you continue again in the hermit mode and through this entire transitional process, be disciplined about bringing this balance of practicality and imagination. Again, I felt very strong practicality and very much like a longing for creativity. The desire is for your creativity to flourish in your life. You want to create a nice foundation. With the 31 here, it does break down to a 4. So you want to create a nice foundation of both aspects, have a solid practical life where you are able to affirm your creativity, live creatively, live abundantly in your creative energy. You want to have all of these things, and where you are right now is not that. Pile number 3, again, a hard truth to face, but something that you're very disciplined at in order to create in your life, in order to walk away and renounce the things that no longer fill you up. Even if you've gone gung-ho and really worked for it, trying to create a fulfilling future, it's okay. It's okay. Be disciplined and knowing that all possibilities open up to more possibilities, right? So surrender your thoughts, your judgments, your ideas about the future. Let the flow come in. Let a more creative side of you come in, and be disciplined in this practice as much as you can be. At the bottom of the deck, we have number 2. You have a great talent for finding solutions. Your intuitive and unbiased nature allow you to see all sides of any situation and advise others towards the most fair and beneficial outcome. You are just diplomatic. So that's absolutely very aligned with the rest of your reading, knowing that you have a great talent for finding solutions. That's not what you lack. You find the solutions. You are a solution-focused person, solution-driven person. And so you're using your intuition on this. Spirit is calling you to use your intuition and look for a beneficial outcome for everyone involved. That is how Spirit is working through you. They're trying to get everyone involved, have the best outcome for everyone. And that is also what you want. Do not be deceived by, judgments about yourself. You do. You want the best for everyone. So how can you open yourself up more to that is what Spirit is asking you. Pile number 3. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought you an immense amount of clarity around the situation that is going on in your life currently. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up because I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in another reading. Peace. Hello, pile number 4. You chose the beautiful amethyst crystal. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to actually just put it off to the side here. And before we get started into your reading, I do want to just mention, as I mentioned in the introduction, that I am using the Heal the Argument deck. And just because I'm using this does not mean that you're in an actual argument or disagreement. There's just a connection between you and some other person or other people that needs healing. And I'm here to look at. So you have, know that every trigger can be healed and is an opportunity for growth. Wow. Okay, so much like one of the other piles, this does not feel individualistic. This is not necessarily you and a one-on-one person. Know that every trigger can be healed and is an opportunity for growth. I'm going to look more into this. I'm going to ask Spirit to show me what it is that this may be in regards to. But there is a trigger here. And if you're not ready to talk about your triggers or get into your triggers, then please just turn off. This message is timeless and it will always be here for you. And there's no need to rush that conversation. Okay. Yours popped out very quickly. But there's a trigger here. And it is asking to be healed. Show me relationship challenges. I'm having a hard time speaking. Pile number 4. You have show me relationship challenges. So the trigger that you have and you are facing and are looking to heal is around relationships. Bottom of the deck, show me what lesson is needed. That is what I'm here for. We are going to get all the way into it, pile number 4. So a relationship specifically, but relationships in general are very challenging for you and is causing a bit of a reaction out of you. Where there's a trigger, there is a reaction. So you may be having very complicated conversations and reactions to people around you, especially as I'm recording this during the holiday season. So a lot of interaction with people. Maybe you're not feeling as grounded or protected energetic wise. So people are constantly running and hitting on that trigger that you are feeling. We're going to look very deeply at the challenges that you face in regards to relationships, but there's something here that can be healed and is, it's an opportunity for you to grow on. One trigger specifically is what it feels like to me, because of course we can't touch on them all. There are things that, we're very sensitive to, especially if you're an empath. Then that's like double the effects that this has on you. I'm going to look even more deeply into the oracle with the Sacred Bee Oracle here and see what these relationship challenges are for you, pile number 4. What is being faced in regards to your relationships? We're going to look right into that. So you have the card Devotion. Very interesting because this did come out for another pile. Okay, I'm gonna actually, this is a deck that is new to me, so again, I'm gonna read it because I want to get the full clarity of the message for you. At the bottom of the deck, we have Mandorla. I know I'm not saying that correctly, but what an absolutely stunning card. I may even read that one too, but we'll see. So with the devotion here, I believe this is the water element depicted in this card, in this picture. For this card, is what I meant to say. I'm gonna look for devotion. Here we have contemplate what you are devoted to. Yes. Identify a cause, a person, or a spiritual subject that you care deeply about. Be honest and seek to understand if there is any ego or unfulfilled need disguising itself as love or desire. Uncovering and understanding devotion is a step towards healing the heart and soul. Okay, so Spirit is asking you to look very deeply into the connections that you have, what you care deeply about, and see where the ego is lying and where it exists, where it is hindering you or creating more challenges rather than creating, an ego is also your identity. So there's a good aspect and a more of a negative aspect when it comes to the ego. We think that we are told that it is good to have a healthy amount of ego. That way that you know who you are, you know how you exist in the world and how you want to show up in this world. And again, that could also be a part of this trigger, as well as feeling like you don't really know what you are devoted to or what you feel devoted to. Maybe you don't know what it is that you want to spend your life doing. Maybe that's a difficult thing for you to talk about with other people, especially when it's family, and family always wants to know your business and what you are up to. It's hard to really stand confidently knowing yourself if you don't feel devoted. So this is a big thing that is coming up, a big message that is coming up for me. For you is to really look at the devotional aspects of yourself. Again, I also mentioned that this is not a religious reading. This is not a religious card. I am not talking about religion. I'm talking about special connections that you feel, like they said, special connections that you feel devoted to, things, places, people, spiritual, gods as well. Who do you communicate with? What is the higher being that you believe in, if you do at all? That does come into it, but it is not all that you must be devoted to. I think it's also like just being devoted to life, being devoted to living, being devoted to existing. You had quite a few that just flew out, so I'm going to keep shuffling because that was way too many. But being devoted to life and living. I really want to know more about the triggers here, because it feels like the people closest to you are the ones who are setting this off, but it also feels much bigger than that as well. So I'm going to look even more into this with the Naked Truth Oracle and see why these challenges are triggering you so specifically. Pile number 4. We have conciliate is the word. With the scales, things are evening out here. Grass is submission. We also have a concede, an acknowledge defeat, and defeat gracefully. Okay, so again, it feels as if there are there's like an imbalance here. Again, in regards to the relationships, I feel as if, and we even have the word empathy here for the potion, which we talked about you being very empathetic, so that is highlighting that as well. But there's something here that you must acknowledge. You must accept defeat gracefully in regards to this relationship challenges. This is balancing out. There's something balancing out here, and we're going to have to accept it as it is. Maybe it doesn't fill us with so much glee, knowing that, people are going to continue to be who they are. They're going to continue to, you know, want you to be who you are, even if they go about it in a way that, again, triggers you, sets you off, makes you feel as if you are not actually being as devoted as you want to be. There's something here. Let's keep looking. Desire, which also came out for another pile. We have the carnation here with good luck and pure love. And we also have the mindset with I will, I am, and I can affirmations. So as I mentioned for the other pile that this came out for, there's something here about your desires and what you desire being a bit unknown to you. We're going to look into the tarot to see even more specifically, but your desires, I feel like, and even with the other pile I mentioned, there's something that you are desiring that is not necessarily being fulfilled in your life. That is what feels like a very large trigger to me. The relationship challenges, again, either they remind you or they bring it out of you, this feeling of I'm not doing enough, or I'm not doing all that I said I wanted to. And again, coming into confirmation with that, coming into understanding of that, gracefully saying, yeah, I'm not going to school anymore if Aunt so-and-so asks, or, oh yeah, I'm not pursuing that anymore because it didn't fulfill me if Uncle so-and-so is asking you questions too. Mom, Dad, whatever this relationship is, whatever these relationships are, they are actually opening you up to uncovering your own truth. That is what is in this growth here. It's almost like a stalemate, which means that you just can't go any further. This is where I'm at, and this is how I'm going to accept myself exactly where I'm at. At the bottom of the deck, I did see this. I saw this card during shuffling for your pile specifically, so I'm not surprised that it is at the bottom of the deck. We have the full stop here in conclusion, and the potion is console and grieve with the grieving here. So again, this is not easy, which is why we started off with the word trigger, with the feelings of trigger. And this is something that we also are mourning about ourselves is, yes, I used to be hella sensitive. I used to be hella empathic, and my boundaries were so inconclusive that, you know, things still got to me. Things still, you know, affected me very strongly. And, you know, sometimes those things affected me so strongly that I completely stopped what it is that I was doing, or I completely changed my mind because I was triggered into thinking I'm not doing enough, I'm not on the right path, or anything. It could be anything, pile number 4. So taking this time to mourn where you are, or where you have been, what you have gone through, taking that time to mourn the triggers that want to die, that want to be let go of, and grieving that person who you were. Grieving that person who you were is actually, you know, embracing who you're meant to be as well. It's like I you know, devoted so much into trying to be this person, and it wasn't actually who I wanted to be. My desires are telling me that I will, I can, and I am someone who I'm growing into someone different. There's growth here. It's like when the forest burns down, and we always hear the analogy, the forest burns down and it creates a soil that is even more enriched for beauty and for beautiful things to grow. So this is, again, like I felt, was a stalemate, a full stop. You are done traveling along this train of being and existing, being devoted to what other people feel as if you should be devoted to, and just finding out what you want to be devoted to. Your desires are calling. Your desires are calling, and I feel like with the bottom of the deck here with the show me, what lesson is needed is to know that you cannot steer yourself in any wrong direction. You can only follow where you are being called intuitively. You can only give you know, what you want to give. So yes, again, we've made decisions and choices to give to things that weren't necessarily the most fulfilling. We've watched people in our lineage do it. We've watched our friends possibly do it, following paths that just don't necessarily align with all of the desires that we've heard people talk about. But this is a lesson that you're learning, is that you can break that lineage. You can break that way of thinking. All of those things can be sacrificed, can be given to spirit, to the higher powers that be, in order for you to gain a new realization about yourself. We have the Six of Wands. Yes, victory. You're having victory over this. You're being victorious. People around you will see you as victorious. It sounds a lot like, oh, you were able to do such and such, and I wasn't able to do that for myself. Maybe this is also, again, there's like, I feel like there's good triggers and there's like bad triggers as well. It's like sometimes we can be triggered to remember who we are and what we've gone through. Okay, so sometimes it can also be like a love, like a bittersweet, yes, a bittersweet realization, like, oh wow, you know, I see the pain and the lineage of the people, and it feels very much like family, okay? I see the pain of the lineage of the people that have come before me, not living out their dreams, fulfilled, not going after their desires, not living a fulfilled life. And I remember when I used to do those same things. I remember when I used to fall into that same trap, really looking at yourself as, again, victorious, and allowing the positive affirmations to come to you as well. We also have the Ace of Pentacles, which has come out for another group as well. And this goes actually very aligned with the Jupiter that shows up in the Six of Wands, because with this recognition comes an expansion. You're receiving some kind of material gift in order to continue to pursue your desires. Like you're being affirmed in some kind of physical way, is what I mentioned for the other pile. And, you know, it's going to really show you about the relationships that are actually in your life. I feel like some relationships are going to not be around for very much longer, especially if there is like some kind of financial tie where, and we know family and sometimes even friends can do it best. They will ask for large sums of money, and it's like, whoa, I'm not a bank. I don't hand out loans or grants. Like, really looking at the relationships that celebrate you for being you, for accomplishing your own desires that they've seen you go after or want. Really being, you know, connected to those relationships, and the relationship that only view you as something that is important after you've made it, after you've gone after your goals and your desires and made some money off of it. Like, we've seen those telltale stories, so being very conscious and aware of that as well. With the relationship challenges here, I do want to mention it. But with the Ace of Pentacles here, you are being affirmed, you are being gifted. Four of Wands with the perfected work here. So Spirit is saying that you are doing the work. You're doing the work that you are meant to do, the spiritual work. Lots of wand energy here so far. The spiritual work that you are doing is being highlighted as very important. This is what I feel like is also not just protecting your empathy, but growing it as well. It's like you are learning what perfection means to you. You are learning what peace means for you. Again, relationships that are closest to us, they have this idea of perfection. They feel like they know what perfection is. And that's that part of your lineage, of your family ancestry connection with people is being healed because you're showing up feeling whole and perfect as yourself. I think that is also giving others the courage to do so as well. But this is something that you're absolutely facing within yourself, is knowing I'm showing up as me. A trigger may have been like coming from a family who is a bit, and I'm stuck on this family, so it must be something in regards to that, especially with the Queen of Cups here. Absolutely stunning. But there is like quite possibly like a level of perfection that runs through your family in some sort of way or another, where things have to look a certain way. And so you are breaking also that trigger as well. It's like, I'm not showing up to be perfect. I'm showing up to be who I am. I'm showing up to give love. I'm showing up to cleanse the vibe, to lift the vibe up. But I'm not here to be perfect. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to experience in pure love and pure devotion. What are the people around you devoted to? How is that aligned with you? How is it not? Of course, as well. There's a lot being healed within you. I feel like your intuition as well is being healed. Listening to it, knowing that your intuition is going to guide you, especially if you're devoted to strengthening your intuition, to listening to it as a daily practice, as a life practice as well, being celebrated for that, whether it's with your born family or your gifted family, where you know that people are going to be here to celebrate you for being you, for finding your true nature once again. We also have the Three of Swords. Yeah. The Three of Swords. This is absolutely a stunning card, and it has a lot. The Three of Swords can tell us a lot about pain. But we also, at the bottom of the deck, have Three of Wands with the Virtue here. So we're going to absolutely get into that. Three of Swords, this could be present day, it could be past, or it could be future. In the near future, especially in regards to holiday times, going around people, opening yourself up more, especially my empathic viewers. The Three of Swords is saying that there is going to be someone who does not agree with your desires. There's going to be someone who does not agree with who you are, pile number 4, and that should never, ever, ever stop you from being who you are. I will, I am, and I can. The biggest sentence that is here in this mindset card is, I am. You already exist, and literally nothing and no one can take that away from you. It can only be celebrated by you and by others who appreciate you for who you are. So with the Three of Swords, next to the Queen of Cups, you are a person who can fill your own cup. You can go after your own emotional stability. You don't need others. You like to share an energy with others, but you don't need, there's this part of you that doesn't need the validation from people because you receive it from spirit. It also feels like for me. So what the relationship challenges are showing up is like, continue to intuitively work through that. The people who don't accept you, what are you going to do about it? You're not going to do anything about it. You're going to show up as yourself. You're going to go where you are, where your energy is accepted, where it is thriving. You're going to heal what has transpired between you and other people, other connections, people who you thought were going to be in your life, who were going to be able to celebrate you. We're going to be able to share with you, like you feel like a giver. I feel like that may be also why the relationship challenges exist. It's like you give so much and people know that about you. They know you're a giver. So maybe sometimes they take a bit of advantage about it or over it. So pile number 4, it's really important for you to heal, to let growth emerge from this Three of Swords. Let growth emerge from this disagreement, or however this shows up. The swords can talk about like communication. So a hard conversation where someone tells you their truth, like they tell you how they really feel about what you're doing or how you're showing up or what you believe in. They're not afraid to share their words or their thoughts. So of course, we're going to accept what they say. We're going to say, okay, that's how you feel. I still feel my power. I still feel my virtue. I still feel my purpose. And that doesn't change based on how you feel. These two things can exist as truth, and still I go about my life living it how I need to. Your affirmation is, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. And this is exactly what is taking place for you. no matter how hard or how difficult this conversation or situation may be, there is an opportunity for you to learn. Bottom of the deck, I choose to learn through love, and that is exactly what's happening. Again, it's painful to be faced with someone who cannot love us as we are, as who we are. They don't accept love from the universe, from the whole universe. So they don't know what it is to be fully loved by the universe. So they don't know how to replicate that in their life either. And that has nothing to do with you, pile number 4. Their lack of love or their inexperience around love or not knowing how to communicate love, your love language is not on you. So when you accept the love of the universe, which is what your spiritual work is to accept the love of the universe, it becomes the primary teacher, and you will always be guided. You will always be guided back to what you desire, what you love. You will always be guided towards people who love you and, be able to share in lovable experiences with other people. You're always going to be guided back to the light, no matter how dark the situation gets. No matter how difficult it gets, when you feel as if, someone, especially if it's someone who was supposed to teach us. If it was someone who was, was a guardian and was supposed to, show us the way of life, and they've only been living their life through their perspective, then you must embrace the universe as your teacher of life, and to experience it as you live, as you love. So your angel number is number 7. You possess a very refined mind and a deep urge to uncover life's mysteries. Your ability to acquire vast knowledge on both the informational and spiritual planes gives you a greater awareness than most. I am brilliant. And this is what you've needed to hear this entire time, is that you're not crazy, that you're not seeing things, you're not looking too deeply into things. You're actually a very brilliant spiritual being. And again, you are going to be finding environments that celebrate you for who you are. This message is coming through loud and clear. You possess a very refined mind. Again, not crazy whatsoever. You have a balance of self. Like, you try to be more practical, but you also try to let spirit guide you, and you're being called to continue to let that happen. Don't close yourself off from that. You have a greater awareness than most, and it's something that should be nurtured and taken care of within you. At the bottom of the deck, you have the angel number 15. Your love for others is powerful, and you are able to spread your gift of support far and wide. Your curious and social nature brings you in contact with a variety of people, all who would benefit from your warm, heartfelt words of wisdom. You are wise. You are brilliant. You are wise. People flourish being in contact with you. Like, you are a very humble but beautiful light, a very warm light to be around, a very warm energy to be around. Spirit is saying it's highly celebrated. Even in environments that don't understand it, they still see some kind of uniqueness about you. And again, that may also trigger something within them of not living their full potential. It's like when we have all these triggers, we're all walking around with these things that set us off, and we set it off in each other. We're meant to grow and learn from them. Some people can't, but you're deciding to, you're choosing to. I can see that by you tuning into this reading and sharing an energy with me, and I greatly appreciate it. Pile number 4, I hope that even with all the noise in the background, that this reading was able to bring you some kind of clarity and peace around this situation in your life. If it did, please give it a big thumbs up, because I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all in another reading. Peace.